Here we go. We are live. All right, we got some French speakers in the house. I believe the name is Haroro. Harono. Harono 34th. Well, how are you, Harono 34th? J'espère tout est la mas bon. Yeah, I'm please translate in English, not much of a French speaker, but nonetheless, when you got an event like Khabib versus Conor McGregor back in October, I believe 2018, I was 33 years old, so now I am 40 years old, so that was about 7 years ago. Do you remember where you were 7 years ago? Shout outs to Joker Land right here with some Arabic. Salam alaikum to you, my brother. How are you? Man, we got people tapping in with us today. This is going to be a really good show, right? So I'm going to take you guys for a California ride, and on top of that, we're going to talk about Khabib versus Conor McGregor and their impact post October 6th, 2018. And I'll tell you what's really interesting about October 6th. For those of you that are Egyptian or even Arabic, you know the significance of the October 6th situation in Egypt with Israel, and that sort of ties into what is going on today with the Gaza and the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, which is still going on. Joker asked, what is the plan? We're going to talk about MMA, we're going to talk about Conor McGregor, and we're going to talk about Khabib and their impact after their fight back in 2018. What is it that they did for their country? Who did better for their community? Was it Khabib? Was it Conor? Or was it the absolute quintessential contrasting point of view between these two men? But nonetheless, we're going to get right to it, and we're going to get into the topic. And man, you guys are going to be in for a serious ride. So during that time, this fight created a lot of buzz. And reason being is because at the time, Conor McGregor was coming off of the fight against Floyd Mayweather. Even though he had lost, he'd given a good account of himself, and not only that, made millions of dollars along the way, which really created a different influence that he had on the UFC, and also maybe even a pay structure. Now you started to notice some guys at the top were making a little bit more. Obviously, the other argument of that is you see right now, there is still that quintessential argument of, let's say, the fighter pay that is going on right now, or the lack of fighter pay, especially amongst guys that are within the prelims. But that's a different topic for a different time. What we can say is that Khabib made an impact in the MMA game, and Conor McGregor made a different impact, and we're going to analyze those two different impacts starting from the time that they were that they had fought back in October 6th, 2018. Obviously, that was before the pandemic. Let's not talk about that, because you know that when you mention things of that nature, you know that they're just going to basically flag you. But nonetheless, anyways, right? During that fight, there was a lot of racial tension going on, if you guys remember. There was a lot of religious hatred towards Muslims, especially from the side of Conor McGregor's supporters, in particular people that were from Ireland. And I tell you what, there was a lot of trash talking that sort of went over the line. Like, for example, saying, oh, well, Khabib's wife is a towel and this and that, and then saying something to the effect of, well, why don't you drink, offering him whiskey. And what's weird about that is the fight was literally 6 weeks away before that press conference that they did, where there was literally no one in the crowd, which, by the way, sort of gave you the preview of what it meant to be around the pandemic in terms of press conferences and things of that nature, right? I don't even think they did press conferences back in the pandemic. Maybe they did just media day. But nonetheless, you got to understand this about the Conor McGregor and Khabib effect, right? Khabib went out and built gyms with all the money that he made from the Conor McGregor fight. Okay? What did Conor McGregor do? Is there any development in Irish MMA? In fact, there's a reason why Ian Gary travels around the world from America to Brazil and not really train in Ireland because there's really not anything there that can help him develop into that world-class fighter. And that's the God honest truth. So Conor never really did anything for Irish MMA. In fact, I would argue that even John Kavanagh has probably done more for Irish MMA than Conor McGregor. This is groundbreaking for you guys to really take in right now. Conor McGregor did less for Irish MMA than that of John Kavanagh. You want to know what John Kavanagh tells new students that come into the door of SBG Ireland? He says to them, well, young fighter, you're either going to be an amateur or you're going to be a pro, but keep in mind that if you're going to be a pro, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go out there and promote yourself, like what Conor McGregor did, yes. But if you want the quiet life and you want your own career right after fighting, then just concentrate on amateur. I'm sorry, the very bad Irish accent, by the way. Shout outs to the Irish. I hope I didn't bastardize that in any way, but you know what they say, you Irish never get offended by anything. At least that's what I hear around the block. But on any regard, yes, Conor McGregor has been less impactful in the sphere of Irish MMA. Now, was he influential? That's the bottom line that we got to analyze right there. Was he influential? And the answer is yes. There is no doubt about it that Conor McGregor was absolutely influential in the world of MMA. But so is Khabib, and he was influential in different ways, but also influencing a different region. For example, you see all these gyms that are popping up in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and this and that, right? All of those gyms are nothing more than just the extension of Khabib's Team Eagle gym in Dagestan, right? So that's what you have going on. With Conor McGregor, he did influence a lot of the Irish to get into MMA, but he never really built gyms for the Irish. Yes, he never really built gyms for the Irish. Now, John Kavanagh, naturally, him being a coach, he's going to go in there and talk to different fighters, talk to different commissions, in fact, even join as a judge. I believe that John Kavanagh is a judge in one of these amateur Irish local events that they have going on in Dublin. But nonetheless, being a judge and also being involved in the game on top of having your own amateurs, I think it's safe to say that this guy is a lot more hands-on with Irish MMA than that of Conor McGregor. In all honesty, I know a lot of you people are talking about how Conor McGregor is going to run for public office, right? I'm going to talk about that next right now. I'm going to give you guys a little tour of Sacramento as we go on right now. All right, so back to the conversation that I'm going to talk about next. I need you to hit that like and subscribe button before I tell you why I really don't think Conor has a chance in heck to win the Irish Prime Minister position. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that subscribe button, and we're going to talk about it. But we're also going to talk about the religious component of why Khabib decided to give back to Dagestan. I know it's not just a religious component, because you could say that, hey, you know what, everybody and any religion can do that, but it is taught in our religion to respect the youth as well as respect the elder. Now, you look at Conor McGregor, right? Has this guy ever really respected the youth in any kind of way? Maybe. I mean, he did show a bit of some kindness, a bit of some guidance to Ian Gary. He does show a bit of some kindness to many of the young fighters, as indicative of the Michael Chandler Tough series that he did, right? One guy, I think, won by knockout really in a spectacular fashion. Conor let him have his Lamborghini to drive around in Las Vegas. Very similar to when Conor McGregor was given an opportunity to ride in a Ferrari with Dana White, being driven around Las Vegas. right? So interestingly enough, right, sort of like this this nostalgia flashback coming into present times as they you know, sort of depict in movies, right, in a cinematic kind of way. But is Conor in any kind of way respectful towards the elder? Well, the answer is no, and I got a couple of reasons as to why. Right? For example, you guys may not know this, and many of you have probably forgotten this. Maybe a few hardcore fans out there have recognized and seen this. But Conor McGregor has punched his dad in the lower section of his you-know-what, and gave him testicular cancer as a result of it. This is a true story. Obviously, there's the other story where he knocked out or punched that old guy at the bar. Now, I know you're probably thinking, all right, you know what? There's two sides to every story, right? The other side of this story, you got to take into consideration with the old man with the bar, okay? People are saying that the guy is 50 years old, all right? He's 50 years old, they say. Why would you do that to a 50-year-old man? I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Joe Rogan is 50 years old, and I know he's a little bit different than other 50-year-olds, but a 50-year-old is a damn 50-year-old, okay? And there's no way around that. A 50-year-old is a 50-year-old, and there is no way around that. You understand? Like, there's just no way around that. So with that said, and with that understood, understand this. That guy, in the eyes of Conor McGregor, was an enemy combatant, but at the same time, he was not hostile. What is it that he did wrong? Other than the fact that, hey, you know what? I don't want to drink your drink. I'm already having something to begin with. Now, obviously, look, you got to understand, it's bad enough that bars, when it comes to bars, it does nothing but bring a lot of negative residue in your life, right? This is why us Muslims don't do it. But that's not for me to judge or decide what one man does. It's still wrong for you to go and hit another man, especially a man who is half your age, at a bar. And that's honestly, unfortunately, what Conor McGregor did. Now, speaking of alcohol, do you remember in that one press conference? Oh, brother, I do not drink. I do not drink, brother. No, I don't drink. Why don't you drink? Why don't you bloody drink? Okay, I don't think he says bloody. I don't think the Irish say bloody as the British do, or I don't know, but let me know on the comment section below either way. But on any regard, yeah, let's, I'm going to continue on with this subject, but first, check this out. All right, so one of the most impactful fights in the entire history of mixed martial arts, right? As a result of these extremely impactful fights in mixed martial arts and in Khabib and Conor McGregor's career, what did they do after the fact, right? So Conor McGregor obviously made somewhat of a disgrace of himself. He got into these situations, got into these bar fights, got into it with Mark Goddard, and it just was not fighting for a while. And then all of a sudden, then he gets a fight against Khabib. After that, he fights Donald Cerrone. Oh, and in between that, guess what happens? Right after the Khabib fight. Khabib's fight was in October. The Nikita Hand situation, you guys know about the Nikita Hand case, right? Obviously synonymous with Conor McGregor's rape allegations. All of a sudden now, it was in December, 2 months right after that. So obviously Conor McGregor being distraught, being hurt. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. As bad as that loss did, Conor McGregor still managed to give himself a certain confidence about himself that I don't think many fighters can really give themselves enough credit for. Okay? You lose a fight like that, it is a big fight to lose. All right? That fight was a big fight to lose. It was literally everybody across the world that was watching it. So losing that fight was a lot. It was a lot. And it was just way too much of a damage for Conor McGregor's brand. So he's going to feel some kind of way. And as a result of feeling some kind of way, what happened? I mean, I'm not going to say that these things are correlated. The loss, the humiliation, and then the aspect of trying to, I guess, cope in any sort of weird way using the key to hand. But I will say that, you know what, Conor McGregor didn't really lose a lot of notoriety after that fight. Simply because his brand at that point was just too strong. And then on top of that, I think that he really played the narrative really well. Well, you know, he choked me. He was, you know, sniffing my crotch the whole entire time. What a lot of strikers always say when they get beat up by wrestlers, right? He had all these types of excuses. And on top of that, he claimed his own personal victories. Oh, well, his inbred cousin tried to get at me, and then boom, you know, I hit him with a straight shot, and he did. He did hit a few of the Dagestani guys with some straight shots. Even Zubaira sort of bragged about it on his social media, saying, hey, look at my eye. Look at my eye. But yeah, more on the impact of the Conor McGregor and Khabib fight after this viewing right here. This is the Golden One Center of Sacramento right here, where the Kings play. A bit of a nice privilege to be able to drive by here every day. And yeah, man. All right, so we got a police officer right in front of us, so I gotta be careful a little bit there. Okay, all right, so more of the impact on the Conor McGregor and the Khabib fight, right? Obviously, still resonates to this day. Khabib got that money and started building gyms around Dagestan. While he was building those gyms in Dagestan, what does that do? It cultivates the future of Dagestani MMA. And in that, honestly, builds their economy. Do you understand that now a lot of people are yearning to visit Dagestan, right? This whole entire 2 to 3 years in Dagestan and forget line that they do. It is literally a hallmark, right? So now what is that going to become? It's going to become a tourist site. I'll tell you what, speaking of tourist sites, Sacramento, right? This is, well, let me show you guys right here, right? This is sort of what I'm trying to envision for Sacramento. You know what I would love for Sacramento to have is a bigger tourism, right? Obviously, right now, LA, obviously, we're not in LA. That's the southern tip of the United States. But LA right now is suffering badly from tourism, right? I don't know what it is. I think there's the tariffs that have been going on around the world that sort of set certain precedents against the United States. And as such, there's not really a lot of Germans, French, or any of that visiting LA as much, right? I mean, Sacramento obviously is the same. There's not, the thing is that I think this deal that the Saudis and the United States have made, I can envision where, let's say, if there's a specific Saudi prince that is in state development or something like that, right? Maybe he'll say, you know what? I want to go and invest into Sacramento as a tourist guide. And trust me, a lot of this still has something to do with the Khabib situation that I'm talking about. So right here, what we have to offer in the world when it comes to Sacramento and tourism, honestly, is nothing more than, let's say, the old school Wild West days, right? Oftentimes, we think that the Wild West was out in Texas or Arizona or this and that. Obviously, the Wild West, there's a reason why they call it the Wild West, is because it took place in California. So what I'm trying to say with that is Dagestan, for a long time, never really had any tourism ideas of any kind. You understand? There's no tourism ideas for Dagestan. There's no, okay, you know, 2 to 3 years, Dagestan, let's forget. That's not what was happening back in the 90s, 80s, and everything beyond that, right? That is totally what was not happening. So as a result of that, what was going on was a world where they were at war. Dagestan was a war zone at one point, right? Like, we're talking like Call of Duty level proportions and whatnot. But on any event, what you got out of that was, man, what you got out of that was a situation where Khabib became champion. Islam is now champion. All these peoples are now champions out of Dagestan. There's a lot of wrestlers that have been coming out of Dagestan. So what do you get in the process? You know what you get? Tourism. You get tourism. You get people that are interested in the culture of Dagestan. You start seeing people wear all these paprika hats, which symbolize, obviously, the cultural hat or the cultural wardrobe of the Dagestanis. And yeah, man, that's the recipe that you have going on for them, right? Now, as for Ireland, right, let's talk about the tourism that is going on in Ireland, because unfortunately it is really non-existent. And I think the reason for that, whether people like it or not, and it's not like I have anything against immigrants or anything like that, but there is a migrant crisis that is going on in Ireland, and it is unfortunately affecting the reality of its tourism. Just like what it's doing with the United States. I mean, obviously that's a little bit different. You know, it goes more into the aspect of, let's say, what do you call it? Tariffs and economies that sort of go into that. So that's all that it really boils down to, right? Athletes, if you guys don't realize this, they are used as props for anything. And when I mean anything, I mean tourism. They influence tourism. People forget that the reason why many people want to go to Iowa, okay, a place, by the way, that is nothing more than a farmland, but why is it attractive for, let's say, combat sports enthusiasts? Well, reason being is because, you know what? It's attractive based on the fact that there's a lot of wrestling champions that come out of there. But it's just nothing but farmland, right? Farmland after farmland. There's really nothing else to it, right? So, I mean, is a farmland really, that helpful? At least for, just random tourism. I mean, yeah, I guess farmlands can be somewhat attractive for tourism, right? But ultimately, when it comes to tourism in Iowa, they do it because there's wrestling in that part of the world, and that's the reason why it is important to a certain degree. Obviously, when you have a championship winning team in your city, does it help that a lot of people know that you're the Super Bowl champions? I would imagine that helps a lot for the likes of the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I mean, who goes to Kansas City? Really? Who goes to Kansas City? Right? But Kansas City ultimately is a tourist destination of some sort. So, something to think about. Hold on, let me see. Let me try to pay for parking here real quick. I will be right back. All right, Charlotte, I'll take y'all. Yeah, that's right. Fresh melon juice. Yeah, that's the thing about Sacramento, isn't it? It does have remnants of the old Wild West out here. But you know what? Still, the same goes true for the modern street culture here. I mean, it is nothing but cowboys and dueling and and all of that going on over here. But on any regard, yeah. Back to the subject matter at hand, right? Now, is it safe to say that, yeah, I mean, Connor's a pretty selfish dude, wouldn't you say? He's a pretty selfish guy. Do you think that he honestly cares about the future of his country's particular sport, right? Do you think that he cares about the development of Irish MMA or anything like that? And the reality is no, because, okay, he does give props to Ian Gary, he does big him up, but he didn't really do anything to help him, right? And that's sort of what I was saying earlier was that, hey, you know what? This guy is not really out here trying to develop this country in any kind of way in MMA because they're really on the low when it comes to MMA, right? They really need a lot of help, but either way, check this out right here. This is literally a hotel and a restaurant right here that you can eat at. See? It's a boat, it's a restaurant, and you can sleep here on top of eating in a restaurant here. Yeah, man. All right, so now that I got a little more people in here, uh, I want to ask you guys, right? Where were you on October the 6th, 2018? I'm going to tell you where I was, right? I was here in Sacramento, obviously 33 years old at the time, 40 years old now. And it was the biggest fight of all time. Everybody was literally talking about it. Like people who are not MMA casual, I mean, yeah, people who were casuals, or even people that were not casuals, but people that are just, let's say, I don't know, regular bystanders that I guess wanted to do, hold on, what is this? I think I had to cut the audio there for a second. Fresh melon juice. The reason why I had to cut the audio there for a second is because I think there was some music playing, so I couldn't get any, I couldn't, just risk a copyright strike and whatnot. But yeah, so moving on. Yeah, we got full audio going right here, so. I think you crossed the line. You're in Mexico now. Fresh melon juice, that's crazy. Do you think they are open? No, they are not. These are, see. Hey, how you doing, Daniel 218? How you doing, man? Where are you right now? Doing a whole bunch of things. You never know where I'm going to take this live stream. But yeah, stay tuned, man. You guys are in for a treat for sure. All right. Let's continue to get this party cracking right here, okay? The fun don't stop right here. Uncle Joey the legend. Yes, that's right. That's right. Shout out to Daniel. You see him, Uncle Joey from Full House. That's right. Good observation there. See, that's why I told you guys I'm more than just an MMA channel. Obviously, I'm an MMA channel, but I'm going to do a little bit of everything, and you guys are going to come in for the ride with me all throughout every step of the way. So here we are, man. And happy Juma prayers to you guys as well. I might take this live stream up to Juma as well, right? I might just, bring you guys along with me to Juma. Why not, right? Probably, I mean, not trying to, like, I might not. I don't know. I don't know how the people at the mosque would feel about the filming, but you guys are probably going to hear it on audio. But you will see the atmosphere of the Juma that I'm going to be at in a minute. And then, you know what? I'm also going to get a little bit of some training in right now, right? I'm going to hit the sauna at the gym nearby right now, and then just do a little bit of shadow boxing there, maybe a little bit of swimming, and then head right into Juma right there. Go to Khabib's gym 3 years and forget. That's right. The sign said open. What up, Aki? What are you doing right now? All right. So you crossed the line in Mexico. Shout out to Fresh Melon Juice and his, his pretty funny comments there. But yeah, man. Let me stick to the topic at hand while I take us into the next phase of this live stream, right? I honestly think that Khabib is a person who's not a selfish man, right? I think it's safe to say Conor McGregor is a pretty selfish dude, right? Can we all agree to that? Can we all get an amen that, yeah, he's a bit of a selfish dude in comparison to, let's say, Conor McGregor? I mean, it is not even a comparison, right? The gyms that he's built, the fact that Conor McGregor hasn't built or helped any Irish MMA fighter. In fact, how about this? You guys remember the Paul Hughes eating Usman Nurmagomedov? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm not like this other Irishman. And then, of course, Conor McGregor went off on Paul Hughes. Right? He's like, oh, you're a bum, you're a bum. You know how it is, right? Everything with Conor is you're a bum, you're broke, and this and that. And it's easy to say. Look, it's easy to say that you're a bum, you're broke when you're the richest guy in the fight game right now. While you are the richest guy in the fight game, everybody is trying to get to where you're at, and they're developing their skills. But in the present moment of time, guess what? A lot of these guys that you downplay, they are better than you. They are absolutely better than you right now. Think about this, right? I made a comparison one time. Jim Miller versus Conor McGregor. Who wins that fight? You know who I said? I said Jim Miller. Jim Miller absolutely wins that fight with ease. Okay, what about the fight between Conor McGregor versus Dan Hooker? Who would win that fight right now? Dan Hooker. There's not a guy that Conor McGregor could beat right now. I mean, it's really unfortunate to say that, but it's so true. There isn't a guy that he can go beat right now in the 155 division, not in the 170 division, no one. Maybe Tim Means. I don't know, man. Maybe Tim Means, he could beat Tim Means. Maybe even Matt Brown, right? But these are guys that are way over the hill. So there's that. But yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of some workout in, and then we're going to go to Juma together, guys. So stay tuned, okay? I'm going to get a little bit of some shadow boxing in the sauna right now. You know what? I wanted to talk about Ilia Topuria, right? Ilia Topuria, I swear to you, that dude, he's revolutionizing something different in MMA in terms of technique. You know what that is? What he's revolutionizing right now is the 5-punch combination. Usually, most guys will attack with just like 1 or 2 punches, maybe even 3, but it doesn't go beyond that. We're going to try to practice some of that. Yeah. What is Juma or Juma? Juma is Friday prayers at the mosque. So I will be attending that while I'm on live stream, and then just continue the conversation from there, right? Take you guys with me to Juma, and then on top of that, yeah, just we're gonna do a little bit of everything right now, man. You guys are, y'all are in for a treat, that's for sure. All right, so here we are. We're heading into the gym right now.
Please press the button then take the parking ticket. Please take the parking ticket.
I told you guys, the most epic mixed martial arts channel in the history of mankind, and I'm showing you why. Doing a little bit of everything, right? You know, kind of like a streamer style program, right? Sort of like what Kai Cenat does, what Vitaly does, but on a less obnoxious level per se, right? So yeah, I mean, we're not going to do any of that obnoxious stuff. We're going to play it cool. We're going to keep it calm, and we're going to try not to get arrested by the Filipino government or the Korean government in reference to that of, what's that guy's name? Johnny Somali and Vitaly. Johnny Somali and Vitaly went to the Philippines and Korea and got themselves locked up totally alley. Oh, yeah, but yeah, anyways, guys. Yeah. Anyways, so here we go. All right, we're gonna take. All right, stay tuned, okay? I'm gonna take you guys to the gym with me. Thank you.
steam room's broken.
Wait, this one?
That one's broken.
Okay, that one is too
I think that one's okay.
Okay.
That one always smells funky up in there, so I can't.
Yeah.
And that shit sticks. And like, I'll take that home, you know, and
Yeah.
stinking, man.
Yeah. I think, you know why? Because, I don't know, man, you know, it's just, you know, some people have different hygienes and whatnot, you know what I mean?
I think so, but it's like, I think if it was a little, no, it's like, this is like that every day, or like all the time. I think it's something in like the drainage or.
Oh,
you know,
okay, that's different.
If
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a simple problem, they could have like, they would like fix it, but I think it's something like a bigger issue, because it always smells really
Yeah.
funky in there. I don't know what.
Yeah, man.
And
For
no,
real.
it's like every single time. It's not like somebody smells like booze
Right.
every time
It's just the common stench that
Yeah.
comes with that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, all right, man. I'm gonna try my luck in here. Yeah. All right.
بله قاسم جان خوب هستین؟ سر خوب؟
سلام علیکم، سر خوب بخیر.
زنده و سلامت باشین. خوب هستین؟
خوب هستین. از این آدرس گرامان کردیم چه خبری هستین شما؟
ما در چی هستم؟ در جیم داونتاون هستم. ما حال چک میکنم بیمنامی در نو چیز کم باز کردم دیدم
شب 20 دقیقه فاصله
می 6 مایل از 6 مایل این روزا 20 دقیقه می اجازه نمید
حالا هر کرد میکنیم بسان
میایم که جیم هستم شاور میگرم میایم با می آدرس هستیم
این دفتر هستم که باید بین ناشی کردن خلاص شد
درست است قسم ما برتان زنیم روز خوش خدا
All right, sorry about that. My phone went, what do you call it? It was too hot. Yeah, you know, the phone went too hot, so, all right. I think the heat is, yeah. That's why, yeah, I had to get up out of there and do that, but yeah. Okay, on to the swimming rounds now. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of some swimming and then we're gonna take this into the Juma prayers, so. say. He says he's like, oh, I guess that turned off. Hold on, let me, all right. You guys hear me? Hey, can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me now. Good. Okay, awesome. Just wanted to make sure the audio was okay. All right. So yeah, that was about a good 20 laps or so, I would say. All right. There we go. All right. All right, how about right now? Let me know if the audio is okay right now. Let me know if you guys are getting any good audio right now. What's up, fam? How you doing, man? How you doing? That's right. I told you guys, most epic MMA channel in history. Look, there's a Scientology building right there. Look at that. Scientology. See that? But that's not where we're headed. We are headed to Juma. Let me know if the audio is okay right now. My battery the battery for my earpiece just died. So just want to make sure that the audio is okay while we stroll up out of here. Yeah, man. I tell you what, MMA Guru don't do this. He doesn't take you to his ride and what he has going on. But I will. Go and ask for Tom. Tom who? Tom who? Who are you talking about? Who's Tom? Fresh melon juice. Who's that? Oh, okay. That's in reference to. Okay, that was in reference to the Scientology building. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. When you said ask for Tom, I thought that was another one of those, John Jones dig of some sort. Okay, I gotcha now. I gotcha. So just as I promised, we're gonna go to Juma together right now. Oops. All right, so here we go, man. We're on our way to Juma right now. So we got the audio good. The audio's on and popping, on and cracking, and we're on our way. So, and then afterwards, we're gonna continue to talk MMA as well, okay? So, here we are, right here in the park. Sorry, how about now? Sorry about that. Oh, okay. Before the audio went out, no, it's not, yeah, man, you must try to make Juma. That's the, it's mandatory, my brother. If you, when they're talking about slaves, they're talking about non-Muslim captives of some sort, right? I don't think they're talking about specifically Muslims. The only way that I think you're exempt from doing it is if you're sick or if you're traveling. That's what I think it is. And here's another thing too, women are not obligated to necessarily go, right? You know, here's an example of it, right? See, you know, women don't necessarily have to, yeah, women don't necessarily have to go to Juma. So, you know what I mean? But men do. It is mandatory for Muslim men to do so. And as such, I am taking you with me. So before my audio got cut off, I wanted to tell you about Khabib's influence in the fight game in terms of the young Muslims coming up. He made it look cool to be a conservative Muslim. Would you guys agree with that? Who agrees on the chat that Khabib made it cool to be a conservative Muslim? I don't know anybody in the game prior to him that made it cool to be a Muslim. In fact, I knew one Muslim fighter. His name was Salman, right? He was an Afghani fighter from Team Alpha Male. I mean, look, I don't mean to judge anybody. Look, he got caught drinking on The Ultimate Fighter, that Cody Garbrandt was a part of with TJ Dillashaw. He was drinking. He's a Muslim fighter. This is a kid that I know personally, right? He got caught drinking in The Ultimate Fighter, and you know, that's just not what we do, man. You know what I mean? But you would imagine the new guys that are coming up, the Dagestanis, the new Arab guys that are coming out of the Gulf, all these guys, they're not going to be down with any of that foolery. They're going to follow suit Khabib's particular style of conservative Islam, and they're going to follow it right into their fight game. So speaking of which, I am doing that as well. You guys with me to Juma. I don't think too many MMA content creators do this, right? Even though that Muslims are sort of like this big focal point in the fight game right now, especially if you're talking about 155 division or 170 of the UFC. That right there is a serious mark for many others that are, yeah, that are within that, you know, particular field. Okay, let me see. I'm going to have to park a little bit illegally in here just to get some parking. Look at this. This is by far like a really, you know, horrible parking situation, but you know what? We're going to make it work anyway. I wouldn't say, hi everyone. All doing Abdul Rahim. Like and subscribe, comment, everything. He knows everything about combat. Right, my man. And then Fresh Melon Juice says, I wouldn't say cool, but more normal than the news is reporting on Muslims. I gotta agree with that. All right, here we are. So let me park right here, even though this is a bit of an illegal parking, but this is the private property of the mosque, so it should not be too much of a problem. All right, I'm gonna show you guys the atmosphere around us. Hold on just a second, okay? All right, let's get out of here. Look at this parking right here, right? I mean, it's so packed here that we have to park literally like this. Look at this. And you know what? And we all trust each other too. So that's the beautiful thing about it. So, all right, here we go.
والله على كل شيء قدير. الله عليم بذات الصدور. ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا وبشر المؤمنين بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. وقال سبحانه وتعالى في مقام آخر: كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. وقال الله تعالى عز وجل أيضا: قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. صدق الله العظيم. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا فاستغفروا إن الله هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له. ونشهد ان سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. اما بعد، فاعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآله وأصحابه وذرياته وآل بيته أجمعين، خصوصا منهم على أمير المؤمنين سيدنا أبا بكر الصديق رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عثمان بن عفان رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا علي بن أبي طالب كرم الله وجهه رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى ولديه السيدين الشهيدين أبي محمد الحسن وأبي عبد الله الحسين رضوان الله تعالى عنهما، وعلى أمهما سيدة نساء أهل الجنة سيدة فاطمة الزهراء رضي الله تعالى عنها. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: الله الله في أصحابي لا تتخذوهم فضلا من بعدي، فمن أحبهم فبحب أحبهم ومن أبغضهم فببغض أبغضهم، وخير القرون قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. ربنا إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا قاضي الحاجات. اللهم أجرنا من النار يا مجيب يا مجيب يا مجيب. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين في فلسطين خاصة يا الله. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في فلسطين خاصة يا الله. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في فلسطين وفي كل مكان. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت اقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ان الله يامر بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى اعلى واولى وعز واجل واهم واتم واكبر. اقم الصلاه. الله اكبر الله اكبر الله اكبر الله اكبر. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله اشهد ان لا اله الا الله اشهد ان محمدا رسول الله اشهد ان محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاه حي على الصلاه حي على الصلاه حي على الصلاه. اقام الصلاه اقام الصلاه. الله اكبر الله اكبر. لا اله الا الله. استوى على كل سوى صفوفكم يرحمنا على يرحمنا الله. सफेद पुरुष करना तवज्जो दें. अल्लाहु अकबर. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعبدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد. فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على
All right, so this is probably one of the oldest masjids in all of the United States. Like we're talking about like 1947, y'all. You know, and it's like they have their own community here. It's quite nice, actually, quite cozy. And then they got their own neighborhood out here. And then they even have their own dental clinic. So let's say if you are a dentist at training, this is one of these places that they sort of, yeah, train future dentists too. So, all right, now we got to get out the difficult parking that we got over here. Really packed parking that we got on over here. But on any regard, you still got to make it. So here, look how packed this parking is. I mean, this is, you know what I mean? But we make it work, you know, because everybody has to come to Juma. So that's what you got to do. Got to make it. Here we are. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's Juma prayers for you guys. But you know what? The live stream continues, because why should we end the live stream while we, oops. It's one of those warnings that they're telling you that the cars are very nearby you. So, yeah, here we are. All right, here we are as I exit out this, you know, very difficult parking that we have going on here. So the Great Mosque, the oldest mosque in all of the United States, is where I had just Juma at right now. So yeah, we are leaving this place right now, and obviously they have their own community here. People live here right in this mosque, which is, you know, really a beautiful thing. Right, you know, and by the way, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're still going to talk about the subject matter at hand that we had just talked about earlier, or we could talk about other MMA subjects and other topics that revolve around the sport of MMA and everything that we love about MMA. So with that in mind, I think we've just hit about the 2-hour mark right now, right? What would be the 3-hour mark that we hit? Could we hit another 3-hour mark? What do you guys reckon? You guys reckon we could do another 3-hour mark, or what? Another 1 hour? Let me know. Oh, let me read some of the comments that I wasn't able to read while I was away. So, okay. Shout out to Abdur Rahim. I hope you enjoyed that one. Can you give us your knowledge about combat? You know who is going to win every fight, and all the past, present, and the future. Correct. How do you know everything? So to answer Abdur Rahim, I study the sport. I've trained in the sport. I've known a few people that are in the sport, and I think it's just a combination of that. Those help. But you know what? Here's an interesting thing that I will say about that, Abdur Rahim. In today's world, in order to be an MMA content creator or an MMA YouTuber, you don't necessarily have to know about combat sport. Well, you do have to know. And it helps if you train, but it doesn't matter if you don't. What I'm trying to say is that there is a certain aspect of not being experienced in the world of combat sports, but being able to analyze it. In fact, sometimes some of the most intriguing people that we would love to get our combat sports takes from are usually towards people that don't know or haven't really trained a sport. I mean, you got MMA Guru. Has that guy ever really trained? I mean, he says he's done Taekwondo. He says that he won a Taekwondo medal. Okay, that's fine. But has he, like, competed or done anything in the world of combat sports? Obviously, the answer is no. But I think more people can relate to a guy like that. Wouldn't you agree? A guy like that seems to be a lot more relatable, perhaps, for you know, for people of that kind, of that persuasion. But who knows, man? You know, in any regard. Hold on, I had to get up out of there, go into Los Angeles instead of the San Francisco one, because unfortunately, that's what you get with the traffic around these parts. So you got to improvise a little bit, I suppose. But yeah, okay, so all right, so on any regard, let's see here. Let's try to we are trying to find a different exit up out of here. What is the next exit I can take here? Oh boy. Okay, we'll go right back up north in that direction. All right, whatever. Okay, but on any regard, the Juma was short. Well, that's the thing, right? It's only 30 minutes. Realistically, that's sort of the difference between us and the Catholics. Obviously, the Catholics are like an hour, right? Because, look, man, God knows that God is not trying to strenuous your time, you know, during the day, right? So that's really all there is to it. Yeah, if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, on any regard. Jeez. It was short, but yeah, in and out Juma. Right, and then you also have to understand, I came in a little bit late, right? So, you know, I parked, you seen where I parked at, like where Juma was at. Where I parked at was literally like just so close. You know what I mean? So close to the other cars. So it was an in and out type of thing. It's also one of these situations where you have to interact with the community, right? All right, I'm going to park right here. We're going to park on top of each other. But we're going to get out of here as soon as possible to make way for everybody else. You know, that's sort of the understanding of that particular persuasion at hand. You know what I mean? But on any regard, yeah, we're getting back to up north right now. All right. What did he say, the Imam? Really catch it. I didn't really catch the, oh, okay. Well, you know, pray for Palestine. Pray for the people that are being bombed in Gaza because they are going through a tough time. And always remember that, you know, there are other people that have it worse than you. I think that's really the gist of everything that we had gotten out of the out of Juma prayers. So yeah. What else? So okay, yeah, we touched into the subject of Khabib pumping out gyms in Dagestan, right? I think, man, let me tell you, that's only going to increase the MMA skills within the realm of Dagestan, right? Like that's realistically all it's going to do is, you know, help them, you know, increase the proclivity that they have for wrestling. Also mixing up the other talents that they have, because look, with building gyms in Dagestan, you know, a lot of people are going to be training in Dagestan. In fact, you're going to see Western champions in the future saying that, hey, you know what, I went to Dagestan to get better or to hone my skills down in this direction and this and that, right? So, yeah, man, something to think about right there. Really something to think about. They are the future of MMA. And in fact, I'm going to also argue that they were the past of MMA. You know what? We got a bonus round that we could talk about right now that I think is really interesting, okay? I got an interesting topic at hand that I think we could bring up here. Okay, let's see here. Just trying to get a dodge up out of traffic right now. Hold on just a second. All right, yeah, this is an unavoidable traffic by any means. So, geez, okay. Yeah, so a little bit of some scenery for you guys right here. All right, yeah, man, that's the thing about California driving, guys, is the traffic. You got to really learn how to dodge away from traffic and take certain back roads, right? Just take different roads and at that, right? So, dodge them out of traffic right here. Hey, what is this comment? That's an interesting comment right there. Khabib should teach English at the gym and PR. Yeah, you know what? If there was anybody in that gym that speaks the best English, and then the other guy, I believe Ramzan, you know, that guy that's always, not Ramzan Kadyrov, but yeah, this guy named Ramzan that's always with him, the translator. You guys know who I'm talking about. He's always with Khabib. So for those that are a bit of some bike enthusiasts out here, you know, let's see, that's how you cut out of traffic right there. If you got a bike like this guy right here, that's how you dodge up out of traffic right there, is by doing that. That's what you do. That's what you do. All right, so whenever there's traffic in Sacramento, guys, this is one thing I want you to understand, right? Whenever there's traffic in Sacramento, what you do is you always take the downtown route to take you from point A to point B, wherever it is that you're trying to go. Khabib should bring in a real teacher. Well, how about me? What do you think? Do you think that I would be a good English teacher for the Dagestani fighters, right? Let's call it Fight Game 101. Right? Okay, you guys, today, your schedule. You go wrestling, 1 a.m., 2 p.m. Afterwards, you do drill, wrestling, okay? And in morning, you strike. After you do strike in wrestling, in mid-afternoon, you take your Fight Game 101 lesson, a.k.a. speak trash English with Khairi El-Kheer, okay? He is your teacher for this time. What do you guys think, right? Me. I mean, come on, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. I would be the perfect English teacher for the Dagestani fighters. Would I not? Who would be a better English teacher for the Dagestani fighters but me? Right? Like, let's think about that. I'm not even saying this to be braggadocious, you know, or nothing like that, right? You know, I ain't even on that tip right now. You know, I'm just being real. Like, if there was anybody that could teach these guys English, it would be me. But you know what? On the other side of that, I would also have to really perfect my Dagestani language, right? I would really have to be up on it. Here's one of these old school Taekwondo gyms that they still got going on right here, right next to the taco spot right here on. But yeah, man, yeah, in order to do that, I really would have to get up on my Dagestani dialect, because otherwise, if I don't, yeah, it's not going to be too good for me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't give myself yet. You would have to move there and forget. Oh yeah, here we go. The go to Dagestan and forget thing that we got going on, right? That's what I'm saying, man. So yeah, man. Yeah. Oh my goodness, we got about another 40 minutes of this live stream. I'm gonna keep on going. Just get the live stream going, and it's a beautiful Friday. Why not? This is what we should do every Friday. But you know what? I don't know. The reason why sometimes I'm reluctant to not live stream is because I don't want to keep live streaming my workout videos every Friday. I mean, this one was a little bit different. Obviously, you've seen the intensity in the swimming was a little bit more than usual because I wasn't doing all the other stuff. So that's kind of what you have to do with training, right? It's not every day that you go out and you do hard stuff every single time, right? You have to pick your shots and your time of when you want to do the hard stuff. And you can't do the hard stuff every day. You also have to listen to your heart rate when you wake up in the morning. You also have to listen to your aches and pains to determine how hard or how fast or when you should go or when you should not go for that particular matter. So, you know, there's a lot that goes into training more than just training hard. There's also knowing when to train hard and knowing when to pull back, but also knowing when to push the limit. You know what I mean? Like there has to be, that's really what it is in a nutshell. You know, you really have to know those differences. So by knowing those differences, I think really helps a lot in in one's training, because oftentimes there's the aspect of injuries. Look, do you know why a lot of these fighters, you have to move there and forget. Yeah, okay, I read that part already. Sorry, I keep thinking these are like new messages or something, but no. On any regard, yes, you have to know. What I was saying was like, why a lot of these fighters get injured all the time is because they don't really take the effort into understanding or listening to their body. Yes, there is a level of competition that you have to keep up with, but at what point does it come a diminishing return for you to be training so hard that now you have less recovery time in whatever it is that you're trying to do? You know, something you have to really think about. So, yeah, man. But in the meantime, more scenes of Sacramento right here. There's the Capitol right there, guys. Capital of California, N Street. Fresh Melon Juice asks, is the weather like this all year round? I will say that, yes, it is. It is like this all year round, but we do have our cold parts, but our cold parts are not like the other cold parts of the United States, as you would imagine. The most that we get out of here is maybe 60, 50, maybe sometimes 40s, which isn't that bad, but yeah, that's the most that we get. yeah, that's really the most beautiful thing about California is the weather like this all year round. But it should be like this in most parts of the United States, as you would imagine, right? Especially being that it is, well, it is May going into June. By June, almost every place is hot. That's during June, I would imagine. But yeah. Yep. All right. All right, here we go. More of the Capitol right here. Where all the important stuff is decided in California, obviously. Right here is, I believe, the Department of Education. Shouldn't be too far from us right now. Obviously, all the defunding that is going on right now with the Doge program that is going on. I mean, you guys think they're doing a good job, or maybe they're cutting up some programs that don't need to be cut, right? But then again, it's all depends on your perspective of things, right? So the California New Car Dealers Association right here on 15th Street. By the way, that used to be a really big club back in the day. It still is. So, yeah. All right, so did you vote for Gavin? No, I did not. I did not vote for Gavin, not at all. What? It's funny that you mentioned Gavin Newsom, because he is running for presidency of the United States. If you haven't heard, yeah, my man is definitely running for presidency of the United States. So what do you think about that? You think Gavin Newsom has a good chance? You know what? Here's the thing, right? Looking at that from non-political point of view, or just a non-biased point of view, just looking at everything from the outside, really understanding America for what it is, I'm honest with you, I think that he does have a good chance of winning. I really do. I think that Gavin Newsom has a good chance of winning. And I'm not saying that because I like him. I'm not saying that because I want it to be true. I'm saying that just based on the circumstances that when you look at Gavin Newsom, he looks like the quintessential president that you would play in a movie, right? Like, you ever seen movies where they pick a certain guy to be play the president, right? What does he normally look like? What is his demeanor? What is his particular look? And usually, I think that is predicated on somebody who is that of like Gavin Newsom, I would imagine. Right? So he has a great chance. And then here's another thing, right? Donald Trump, his vice president, is probably going to be the guy that's going to take on Gavin Newsom for the Republican versus the Democrat race in the final stretch to the presidency in 2028. I think that's what is going on, and that's what I think is going to happen. But again, you never know. But rest assured, Gavin Newsom is a power-hungry type of guy, right? He took on California as the governor, became governor of California, mind you, probably one of the biggest GDPs in the world, never mind the United States, right? Like, California, by its own stretch, is one of the biggest economies in the world, and Gavin Newsom was running that. So this is a guy that is not shy of being around power or you know, getting into power or things of that nature, right? He's not shy about that at all. But one thing I can tell you about Gavin Newsom, is that going for the presidency is not something that is far stretched from his imagination. Okay, he's seeing that. He knows that he's there. And plus, here's the thing, right? The Democrats right now, they need a superstar in order to get back their seat in the White House, right? They need a superstar in order to get somebody in a presidency. Who is that? Who is the closest guy that they can bring forth in that particular scenario? It is none other than Gavin Newsom. There's no doubt about it. It's Gavin Newsom. But if there's anybody else, we will see. Because if Kamala Harris was going to win on her own, she would have done it already. She basically got an alley-oop. All right, here it is. You're the vice president. Donald Trump is going through all these situations going on. He's got court cases and this and that. He got shot, but ultimately that really helped him more than anything. And this is what you get, right? So what Fresh Melon Juice here say, Republicans can play all his failures on repeat and win. Republicans can play on his failures, on the failures of Gavin Newsom. Yeah. I would say so, right? I would say that is, what is going on here? What is going on here? A little bit of a traffic scenario going on. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, no. It looks like everyone's trying to get in. But you're right, Fresh Melon Juice, that is what they do. They sort of, play into the failures of each other, right? That's sort of their MO and what they do. Doge is going to follow all the billions he's been stealing. Ooh, that is a good point. That is a very good point, Fresh Melon Juice. That's an excellent point, as a matter of fact. They will play on that. There is no doubt about that. Yeah, they will absolutely play on that. I mean, why would they not, right? Think about it. Why would they not play off of that? It's what they do, right? Well, the Republicans did this and the Democrats did that, and because it was the Republicans, I mean, look, this is politics as usual if you think about it, right? Excuse me, just politics as usual. And sorry, accidentally hit the audio right there. I accidentally hit the audio. No, I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, but I said, this is what the Republicans and the Democrats do all the time. They play off of each other. Oh, well, the Republicans did this and the Democrats did that because the GDP is this way right now, because the economy is this way. It was under the Republican administration. It was under the Democrat administration. It was under their rule. And then the Democrats did this. And instead of doing that, they should have done this. I mean, the games go on and on and on, right? And Fresh Melon Juice says it's frustrating. Politicians can do whatever, steal or treason, and still keep their jobs. Well, you know what? That's sort of what Donald Trump is trying to prevent, isn't it? Right? He's trying to mitigate all of those situations to make sure that that doesn't happen. But once again, sometimes that's just way easier said than done, isn't it? It's just really way easier said than done. But I think so far, yeah, man, they are definitely auditing a lot of government people right now, for the better and for the worse, right? For the better and for the worse, I think. So, all right, here we go. Man, very bad traffic on a Friday. Usually, I tell you what, man, compared to LA, Sacramento is actually not this bad in traffic. Like, you really caught this day, the day of where, a lot of the traffic is going on right now, right? Fresh Melon Juice says they think they have to send people to prison for it to stop. They think they have to send people to prison for it to stop. Are you talking about the Republicans under the Trump administration right now? Or are you talking about the past administration where they were trying to lock up people like Trump? And if you think about it, Trump is sort of doing the same thing right now. I mean, look at Dr. Fauci, bro. That guy is definitely not safe right now in his job or whatever. I think they have to send people to prison for it to stop. Yeah. That is a deterrent, isn't it? right? Like get people to stop. I mean, hey, look, just don't do this or don't take advantage of that and we'll be good. But, you know, easier said than done. But yeah. And then there's the A's, where the A's play right now, the Oakland A's. This is where they play now. Right here on 3rd Street in West Sacramento. But yeah, on any regard, both parties should go to prison. Yeah, you know what? Easier said than done, right? You know, you can say that, yeah, both parties need to go to prison and this and that. But at the same time, who? Because look, here's the thing. Here's the thing about politicians, right? Some of them mean well. Some of them actually really do mean well. I always tell this story where I worked for one state assemblyman named Brian Mainshine during college, right? Of course, look, this wasn't an ideological pick. This is just what you got to do to get through college. All right, listen, we need you guys to intern for this or that. You have this choice or this and that, and you got to pick in between that, but that is what you get credited for. Okay, so with that in mind, now I decided, you know what, I'm going to go with this guy. What was his backstory? Brian Mainshine. Okay, so he was a former Republican that became a Democrat based on the fact that he didn't like certain ideas that some of his Democrat compartments were doing. Okay, so he decided he wanted to change parties because he wanted to stand on certain principles. So I thought, all right, you know what? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. But the fact that this guy is willing to change mid-career, by the way, something very detrimental to your reputation, right? Because now you're going to look like a flip-flopper. You never want to look like, I mean, in certain instances, it's okay to be a flip-flopper, but when it comes to politics, it never looks good. Even in gang banging and gang culture, like it does not look good if you were a former Crip and then you became a Blood. Like people, you know, will somehow have an issue about that, right? Where, you know, maybe there was a reason why you did that. Maybe you didn't like the guys that you were with, or maybe the guys that you were with betrayed you to a certain degree. But yeah, that's that in a nutshell, pretty much. So on any regard, yeah, I do agree they do have to audit both parties, but how are they doing that? One never knows, although Trump is trying, and although there are some imperfections that come with that, at the same time, it's the best that you can do, and it's never going to be perfect in any way around. That's really the best way to do that. Fresh Melon Juice says, RFK and Tulsi have never looked stronger. Man, I tell you what, before the Trump administration of the current one right now, everybody always looked at RFK, Tulsi Gabbard as some sort of revolutionaries, right? In terms of giving new, fresh ideas, or what I really like to call awaken ideas, not woke ideas, but awaken ideas in the world of politics. And that is one thing that you have to give Trump credit for, is that he is sort of changing the dynamics of not only the culture of the United States, but also the overall culture, that of U.S. politics. No way. You're streaming again? Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Chattiest Gaming says, yes, I am streaming once again. Hold on just a second, okay? Let me do something real quick. I gotta do a little pickup. Yeah, back at it again. Chattiest Gaming is surprised that I'm still streaming. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? There's different ways to stream. You look at MMA Guru. How does he stream? He literally does it just on his studio. He never goes out. The one time that MMA Guru went out was when he was, how do I say this? When he was, when he did that 100K subscriber reveal, right? He went outside. I mean, he had a whole production behind it, right? But that was the only time that he went outside. Me, man, I'm literally outside. Like, you can't say that I'm not from Sacramento. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people out there claim that they're from Sacramento or they're from other places or this and that. I'm really from where I'm from, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm really showing that I'm from where I'm from. But on any regard, we're going to have another epic stream. Obviously, we just had some going on. I went to Juma with you guys. I went to swim. I went to work out. I do all types of things in this stream, and I'm doing it all at once while also talking about MMA. So, you know, I always try to keep it action-packed and action going in every sense of its direction. And yeah, man, we're going to get on and cracking. So here we go. What are we going to talk about in our bonus round, right? So obviously, Khabib and Conor are a big particular topic in this live stream. You know what? I haven't been doing videos as of late, right? I think I got to address that a little bit, right? I just felt like, you know what? Going to a live stream gets so much easier views. You just get on, and the next thing you know, people pop like you guys, okay, talk about DDP and Khamzat. Great question. Okay, great topic at hand. We will definitely do that. But yeah, with the video thing, I just haven't been doing it as much simply because, you know what? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe ever since I started doing shorts, that maybe perhaps it may have affected the viewership of my videos. But nonetheless, man, tomorrow, or tonight rather, I'm going to be recording a few videos and I'm going to drop them tomorrow because I've been doing a lot of live streams, so I'm sort of going to balance it out. So, okay, now let's get to the topic at hand. Who wins between, right? Who wins between DDP and Khamzat? This is a very good question. I think that I've said it plenty of times before. I said that I'm going with Khamzat. But it's not to say that he's not going to be given a hard fight. He will be given a hard fight. It's going to be a very difficult fight for Khamzat Chimaev. But he is still going to win. DDP is going to give him a serious fight. Look, DDP has great cardio. I'm about to explain to you right now why I know DDP has cardio and why it also correlates with the training session I just did earlier in the stream. If you want to wait for, give me just 1 minute for a second. I will be right back. But if you want to look at the training that I did earlier in many of the live streams I've done, just training in shadow boxing in the sauna and this and that. So, can he make Khamzat cry? Can he make Khamzat cry? DDP made Izzy and Sean cry pre-fight. No, I don't think you're going to make Khamzat cry. Khamzat has been through a lot, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Hold on just a second. Going back to the topic at hand that I was talking about, right? You seen the training session that I did earlier in the heat. Let me tell you why that's significant. Okay. The reason and the significance of that is because when you train at a heat in the sauna or anything that is hot, in a hot, area, you're increasing your VO2 max level. And then on top of that, you take into consideration that DDP comes from a high elevated place. It only does nothing but positives for his outcome in terms of his output. So yes, based on that alone, he absolutely is going to give, a tough fight for Khamzat Chimaev. He's going to give Khamzat Chimaev a serious tough fight. There's no way around it. Khamzat is going to be in the fight of his life, but it doesn't mean that he's not going to win. He can absolutely win. Can he make Khamzat cry? Now, let me address that for a second. No, I don't think that he can make Khamzat cry, and I'm going to tell you why. Khamzat Chimaev grew up in a region full of warlords, terrorists, insurgents, mujahideens, Russian special forces, all of that. He was embedded in that world before he got into the world of Sweden. And by the way, Sweden, for those of you that don't know, you think like Sweden is this, liberal white place or whatever, or this and that. The reality is, man, they got some gangs up there. They got Albanian gangs. They got Chechnyan mafia over there, right? And many of these Chechnyan mafia and Chechnyan gangsters, they are heavily opposed to Ramzan Kadyrov, which, by the way, interestingly enough, I did make a video several months ago, maybe even a couple of years ago, regarding Khamzat dealing with a story to that video too. Like that, you're not making a guy like that cry, dealing with a character like that. I highly doubt it. But you know what? One never knows, man. Maybe DDP just has an upper hand of people when it comes to the mental anguish game. There is something that he has going on that sort of makes him unique in that particular light. But you never know, man. You never know. We'll see. I will say that the press conference and the build-up for DDP and Khamzat is going to be amazing. So, okay, we know that fight is UFC 319, right? When is 319? I know that July 18th, so August. We're talking about August, right? Because 318 with Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway is in July. I think that's the same day as Usyk and Dubois. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to right there. The build-up's going to be insane, though. Here's one thing that I think will be missing from the build-up. I wish, this is why what we discussed earlier, right? I should be the English teacher for the Dagestanis. You know what I would tell Khamzat Chimaev to do? I want you guys to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button right now, because I'm going to tell you what Khamzat Chimaev should say to DDP, and it has something to do with the white farmers of South Africa. Please, August 17th. Okay, so August 17th is that date. August 17th in Chicago. I will, keep that in mind. All right. So, what was I saying? What was I saying? Sorry, subject matters at hand. Okay, hit the like and subscribe button if you want me to tell you what I would tell DDP, what I would tell Khamzat towards DDP, and it has something to do with the white farmers going on in South Africa right now. You know what I would say to him? Hit that like button. Somebody hit the like button who hasn't hit the like button yet. Come on. One more person. Hit the like button. I'm going to tell you what Khamzat Chimaev should do, or should say to Homeboy. One more. Come on. You just give me one more like. One more subscribe, and we'll get it on and cracking right there. Okay? All right. So, this is what I think he should say. What he should say... I'm going to wait. You guys hit the like and subscribe button, and then I'm going to tell you what Khamzat Chimaev should say to Drickus. It's gonna be shocking. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, wait up a bit. Okay, so this is what I think he should say to him, right? Listen, you're gonna get ran out like the rest of your people in South Africa. That's what he should say to him. But then again, maybe DDP doesn't care about that particular subject. I mean, we're just assuming that because he's a white South African that he cares about the fact that white South Africans are being, slaughtered or whatever. I mean, we never know, right? I will say, though, what makes Drickus really tough, in my opinion, what really makes him tough, I think has something to do with growing up in South Africa. That's what I think. I think that has something to do with it. I think growing up in South Africa made him tough. Think about this, right? He's a white boy in South Africa. And he's got to fight all of these dudes that are around him. I mean, think about that, right? Like, you don't think Drickus had a hard life growing up in South Africa? Many people, especially Sean Strickland, okay, the former Nazi gang dropout, okay, Sean Strickland, he really believes that Drickus is a privileged person. And I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. As much as I don't dislike Drickus on political reasons, I may dislike him as a fighter because he's fighting my boy Kamzat. I don't think the guy grew up spoiled. I don't think that at all. I have a hard time believing that. Now, if you want to believe that, if you want to say that he's spoiled and that he was a guy that was privileged and all of that, well, I don't know, man. I think that, look, not all white people are privileged. It really depends on who they are, what region they're from, and what circumstances they were dealt with. But I will say, you can't deny that if you are white, you will have an easier time finding a job more than the next guy. And not all the time. Again, it all varies in different anecdotal experiences, but then there's the statistical metric that you have to take into consideration as well. And then what kind of questions do you have to look for in order to get to the bottom of the reality of discrimination? But I certainly don't believe that Drickus grew up privileged. And I think that right there is going to be the next topic at hand that we're going to do in hour 3 of this live stream. We're about to hit hour 3 in the live stream right now. Can you believe it? We're really about to hit hour 3 in the live stream, and it is on and cracking right now as we speak. So we're keeping it on and cracking right here. So all right. Yeah, Sean is a spoiled brat. How do you figure? How do you figure Sean is a spoiled brat, my man? Like, I'm gonna get out of here for a second. How do you figure that Sean is a spoiled brat? How do you figure that? We're just sitting chilling in the park right now. Oh, sorry. Okay, okay. So the audio right there. Okay, so I was reading what you were saying. Okay, so yeah, Sean is a spoiled brat. He lives in the U.S. and says other lesser countries that have made it. Fresh Melon Juice says, like DDP, Fresh Melon Juice also says the actual land of opportunity that the entire world is trying to move to. Thanks for the reminder of that audio right there. But yeah, man. So let me see if I can get the headphones going right now. We're about to head into hour number 3 right now, and I think I got a good topic at hand when it comes to what we're going to talk about: the perception of privilege. I think that's an important topic to talk about: the perception of privilege. Let me go see if I can get some headphones so that you guys can hear me clearly. Hold on just a second. Right now. So let me know if you guys can hear me right now. I just put on my headphones right now so you guys can hear me. I am at the park right now as we speak while we are going to continue on hour number 3 of our live stream. So, okay. As you know, I do a little bit of some bonus rounds in my live stream. Sometimes I do an hour. Typically, I would do about an hour. Today, I decided I was just going to go all out and do a 3-hour stream, maybe keep going on from there. But the next topic that I want to talk about in hour number 3, okay, is the perception of privilege. I think this is something that I think is really important to talk about, right? Look, do you often run across somebody that you think has it going on in their lives, right? You ever met people that you look at them and you say, wow, they got everything going. They got their car, they got their house, they got their mortgage intact, they got their mortgage paid, they got their whatever paid, right? They go out to restaurants, they go on vacations every time, right? Oftentimes there is a certain sense of jealousy that people have. You start looking at other people and start saying to yourself, you know what, man, I'm better than this guy. I don't understand why he has this going on and why I don't have that going on. You ever ask yourself that question? Be honest with yourselves. Because I tell you what, as clear-minded as I am and as stoic as I think that I am, I'm going to be honest with you. There were plenty of moments in my life where I looked at somebody and said, man, that guy don't deserve it. I should deserve what he has going on. He should not deserve anything that I have going on, not whatsoever, right? I'm the guy that should have it. Why does he have it? You ever ask yourself that? Because I tell you what, right now, I have. And we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about why that is bad, why you should refrain yourself from doing so, and why it really kills your joy in the inside. Let me read the comments here. No, man, I'm a man of God. Okay, well, Fresh Melon Juice, I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate that you say that you are a man of God, right? I would like to think that I am as well. Obviously, you've seen, that I went to the. I mean, look, that's not anything to brag about. It's just me trying to continue on my live stream, right? Not necessarily for the intention of, I guess putting it out there, but it's part of my day. I'm live streaming. Why not? But okay, you do see that I do have remnants of that. That I do have that same understanding that you do when it comes to being a man of God, as you say, right? So I understand that. But I think you as a Christian would also understand that we do have a certain degree of sin that is within us, that is susceptible to our reality. Well, okay, maybe that's not the susceptibility of sin that you are capable of, but for me it is. For me, I mean, well, it was at one point, and let me tell you how I got up out of it. I'm going to tell you how I got up out of it. I decided, you know what? Listen, comparison is the thief of all joy. You get what I'm saying? Comparison is the absolute thief of all joy, and there's no way of really putting it better than that. It literally is the thief of all joy. Okay, it will take your joy away because you know what? Every little accomplishment that you make, okay, you're gonna look at. I mean, look at it like this, right? If I do a good live stream like this, I'll get like maybe a good 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5, sometimes 10 new subscribers on the spot, right? Okay, for me, that's great. For somebody that has less than 1,000 subscribers right now, ongoing, that's great for me. But now I got to look at Mr. Beast. Oh, well, the dude makes 10,000 new subscribers every hour. Well, of course, I'm not going to compete with that. I'm not in that algorithm. So it's going to kill my joy of the 10 new subscribers that I made rather than looking at, like, the small accomplishment behind that. Now I'm trying to compare myself to somebody that is in a different stratosphere. Now my joy is just being killed. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Fresh Melon Juice says we are all sinners. That's what I'm saying. That's what we all are. But yeah, man, it kills your joy. So you know what? I realized that it does nothing but really destroy my happiness. That's all it does, is it just does nothing but kill and destroy your happiness. I'm going to give you guys a story right now, okay? It's a street fight story. I love these. But you know what? Just like the MMA storylines that we talk about, these street fight storylines that I'm about to tell you, okay, is, how do I say this, has a life lesson behind it as well. Okay? And it took place literally back in 2000, I'm going to say 2020, 2002. Okay, I'm about to tell this story right now, right? Back in 2002, these guys who got jumped at a party, and I'm going to tell you the backstory behind it, okay? Hold on just a second. Let me get this ready right here while I tell you guys a little street fight story that I got going on right now. Okay, so let's see. All right, here we go. Okay, a little street fight story right here. Okay, so back in 2002, okay, I had a group of friends from Jersey City. Okay, these guys that I knew from Journal Square. For those of you that are from Jersey City, let me know if you know anything about Jersey City or the tri-state area or anything like that. But yeah, Journal Square is basically, I wouldn't say the downtown of Jersey City, but it is sort of like a hub. Okay, so these guys that I knew in Jersey City, right? I invite them down to a party down in South Jersey. Okay, I want to give a little context to the story, right? Everybody in this story is Filipino, right? So it's a group of these Filipino dudes that I knew in Journal Square. These are really hood type of dudes. So are the dudes that I introduced them to down in South Jersey. So these guys live in the city. I lived in the suburbs. They were hanging out with me in the summer of 2020, the summer of 2002, right? I was going to say 2022, but that's obviously 20 years ahead. But 20 years back from 2022, which is 2002, that's what I did all summer long. I was hanging out with these guys. At the time, 2002, I was 16, 17 years old. And these guys were, at the time, maybe in their mid-20s, right? So these were like my OGs. You know what I mean? These dudes were like my OGs and all that. Okay, so they brought in, a couple of their friends too, the guys that I didn't really know. And they would often come to Central Jersey where I lived at because I did have ties to people in Jersey City, but I lived in the suburbs in Old Bridge, New Jersey, in Central Jersey, right? They go down there with me every summer, or at least during this summer, to to party, right? Go to house parties and this and that. Because if you lived in the city, whether it was New York, the Bronx, Queens, Harlem, Jersey City, all of that, you always wanted to go to the parties in the suburbs, whether that would be in Fort Lee or Nutley, New Jersey, next door, or whatever suburb town that was in upstate New York, right? That was your thing to do if you were from these places. So they always came along. One time I brought them to this other house party with a group of these other Filipinos, and guess what happened? Lo and behold, they got jumped and they blamed me. Okay? And there's a reason why I'm bringing up this story. Because after they got jumped and they blamed me for getting jumped, they brought up all this other stuff about, oh, well, you're a spoiled kid from the suburbs or this and that. Just all this vitriol hate that they have. Like, as if, I don't know, man. Like, I don't like to think people are jealous, but looking at it in hindsight, I mean, you would think, like, there's a little bit of that, right? If they're bringing it up in a moment of heat where they just got jumped. And by the way, mind you, when these dudes got jumped, they got jumped when, well, let me tell you the reason why they got jumped, okay? They got jumped because they were trying to get at somebody's girl. Okay, now, is that any reason to jump somebody? Of course it is. So how is that my fault? They blamed me for setting them up. I swear to you, they really blamed me for setting up everything, right? They said that, oh, well, you set this up. You're the guy that was behind all this. You did this because we always crack jokes on you or this and that. So they were basically blaming me for getting jumped. Can you believe that? These dudes were blaming me for getting jumped. It was the craziest thing in the world. I mean, getting blamed for somebody getting jumped when they could have taken their own responsibility. But man, listen, the whole vitriol hate that they put on me, it opened my eyes. Like, wow, you know what? These guys, for whatever reason, they're full of hate because, I don't know, man. I mean, is it because, I don't know, because I lived in the suburbs and they did it, and then because remember, they're the ones that are bringing it up. I'm not the one bringing it up. I'm just like, all right, you know what? These are my homies because they're homies with my homies, and I never thought anything of it, But then, they start bringing this up, and it's just like, wow, like I can't believe you're bringing that up, man. But on any regard, yeah, man, you just never know what kind of people there are out there. And also, man, here's another thing too, right? A lot of you out there, you think you got people in your lives that are down for you and this and that. Some of you got people out there that are just waiting to see you downfall. I mean, really, there's people out there that are like that. They are waiting for you to hit the downfall, and as a result of hitting the downfall, they're just waiting to see it live right there in your face just so they can laugh about it. I mean, true story, man. That's really all there is to it. There are people out there that want to see you lose. Like you can never really underestimate that. Don't ever underestimate the people that are out there that are waiting to see you lose. I hate it, man. I hate that the world has to be like that. But unfortunately it is. But you know what? Sometimes, I like coming out here, just relaxing, taking a look at, the beautiful park, getting a nice view, sitting down, relaxing with a cup of coffee, maybe some bagel. Shout out to Marty Miller, one of these guys that is always on my stream. He said that, he watches my stream while, eating a bagel. And that's ultimately an honor right there. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys want to talk about in the bonus stream round right now while we are live streaming in the park and, and just getting a nice quality view as we're sitting here chilling, enjoying this beautiful Friday, this blessed Friday in front of us. I do got one particular topic that I do want to talk about while I'm sitting here chilling. Uh, I don't know what's going to come about with this John Jones story. I really don't. I think that I think that John Jones, excuse me. Look, I'm going to tell you my honest take about John Jones, okay? I think John Jones right now, if he really wants to retire, he should go out and proclaim it. There's nothing left. There is literally nothing left. Sure, there's Tom Aspinall, but if he wants to do Tom Aspinall, great. Do Tom Aspinall, and that's it, and that'll be the last of it, right? Here's what I think. I think that after Tom Aspinall, there is nothing to prove anymore. Think about this, right? The heavyweight division right now, they don't have a good roster right now, right? There's not a whole lot of people to really look forward to. Of course, there's always going to be a new crop of heavyweights that are popping up. Did you see Fernand Lopez? He posted a picture of this 6'4", 275-pound BJJ black belt. I believe he's a black Frenchman of African descent, obviously. And yeah, man, he looks like an absolute badass. I mean, 275 pounds of this, and he's a BJJ black belt. Okay, and he's jacked. Okay, again, this is the new competition in the horizon is this guy. But with that in mind, is John going to realistically ever fight a guy like that? The answer is no, because that guy has to fight more years, put in more time, get more wins in order to really get that popping. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the heavyweight. Excuse me. Sorry, drinking water went down the wrong hole. Yeah, there's really no one left in the heavyweight division right now. Oh, you know who else is in that position? Usyk. I think after Daniel Dubois, there really is no one current in the heavyweight division right now, even though there is always somebody that is up. Look, that's what I wanted to say ultimately, right? It's not all the time. It's not all the time. Not all the time that you're going to have a stacked division, but at the same time, there's people that are always coming up. That's sort of the dilemma in the heavyweight division right now in both boxing and in MMA. You see, the reason why the heavyweight division right now looks lackluster is because Tom Aspinall literally starts the whole division. From the scariest guy of Pavlovich all the way to Curtis Blades. And now maybe even John Jones. So that's why it seems like there's really no one left. Fresh Melon Juice says, if John would beat Tom, the heavyweight division would be dead for real. I think John has told Dana he's retired, and Dana told him not to say anything. Shout out to M. He's got the Turkish flag going on. Just shout out to you, my man. Fresh Melon Juice. That is a good point. That is a good point. Like, look, if John beats a Tom Aspinall, what is Tom Aspinall going to do? Is he going to go in there and fight, what, for a vacant title? Because even if he loses to John Jones, he still has the chance. Man, thinking about it, Tom Aspinall is the most privileged guy in the heavyweight division. Think about how privileged he is out of everybody in the heavyweight division, right? He's so privileged because, yes, he has an opportunity to fight John Jones. And if he loses, he can come back and fight again. But if he wins, he gets the biggest win of any mixed martial arts fighter's career. Think about that. Would you agree that John Jones is the biggest win any MMA fighter could have? Would you agree to that? I think so. I think that's the biggest win that any MMA fighter could have right now. Fresh Melon Juice says, "Did you know Turkey was a Christian country before the Ottoman invasion?" Yes, that's what I've heard. Yes, and then after they were a Muslim country, then they started to become how do I say this? What's the word I'm looking for here? Secular. They became secular after the fact. So, something to think about as well. All right, so here we go. Yeah, man, look, the heavyweight, this is why they say that the heavyweight division is so dead right now, okay? Because think of it like this. Tom Aspinall starched everybody. John Jones starched everybody in light heavyweight, became the light heavyweight GOAT, okay? Because if John is a GOAT of anything, realistically, he is the GOAT of 205, and you can't deny him of that. You can't deny John Jones being the GOAT of 205. Sorry, having a little hiccup right now. Yeah. What do we have here? Yes, that he said yes. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing left in the heavyweight division right now. I don't blame John for wanting to retire. I really don't. He's saying that he's retired, but for whatever reason, the UFC wants to keep it a secret. I don't know why. There's a lot going on right there. I think, look, this is Dana White behind the scenes. You guys know Dana White has been kicked out of plenty of casinos. You want to know why? Dana White got kicked out of casinos because Dana White would constantly beat every single casino. They would accuse him of card counting. They would accuse him of cheating. They would accuse him, excuse me, of an inside job where he hired, I don't know, like the card dealers or whatever excuses that they could find. They banned him from these casinos because he is a great poker player and a great blackjack player at that. So now, what is Dana White doing with John Jones in a negotiation table? He doesn't want to show you his cards. You understand? That's what Dana White is trying to do. He's trying to not show you his cards. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pin this comment by Fresh Melon Juice right here. If John Jones would beat Tom, the heavyweight division would be dead for real. I think John has told Dana he's retired, and Dana told him not to say anything. I need you guys to understand and read that, okay? I know I read that earlier, but it just dawned to me. It was like, this is really the focal point of everything else. Above all else, it's this. Lower. I don't think they ban him. They just love the stakes. They just love the stakes lower. If John Jones would beat Tom, okay, yeah. No, they banned him. He's banned, bro. Listen, The UFC is banned from the Palms Casino because they used to have Ultimate Fighter shows out there, Ultimate Fighter finals, even some fight nights. They held it all there, and then they stopped because they're like, we don't want to do business with Dana White. So Dana White is like, oh yeah, well, this is what I'm going to do in the UFC. I'm going to take out the UFC away from you guys. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so fresh melon juice. Are you saying that they lowered the stakes because they well, because obviously Dana White is a big spending gambler, right? I mean, he's probably one of the richest guys in Las Vegas. So unless of course another out of towner comes in, but if you're talking about just the locals in Las Vegas, Dana White is probably one of the richest guys out there that are gambling on the poker table, right? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean, fresh melon juice? Let me know if that's what you meant, my man. Like you meant lowering the stakes, like basically just having a lower value of bets, right? Rather than going all out on these crazy, insane bets and what have you. Yeah, bro, he's really a known, verified, banned user in the Palms and casinos. I don't know about the Bellagio. I don't think it had the Bellagio would be right up there, but he's been banned in a few casinos. So what I'm saying is that he's not showing you his cards. Because look at John Jones, right? John Jones is so highly proclaiming that he's done and he's retired, right? And we don't know if he's even trolling or if he's suggesting or just leading on. But man, think about that. Dana White is hiding his cards. Lower credit and lower bets. Oh, okay. So you meant lower credit. Okay, like 5K per bets. Yeah, they lower it to 5K per. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. So you're saying that there is no actual ban and that Dana White really doesn't want to bet that low, maybe. Is that what you mean? It could be another possibility, perhaps. Right? Is that what you mean, fresh melon juice? Could that be also, yeah, may that have something to do with it as well? Yeah, so technically a ban. Yeah, so it's technically a ban. Okay, so it's Dana White that's actually banning himself from these casinos. Because if you think about it, he can still play there, but I'm Dana White. I'm not playing for no 5K. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably the attitude up out of it. Like, I'm not going to play for 5K. I'm Dana White. What is that? What is 5K? Like, are you serious? That's what I'm going to play for? Is 5K? You know what? I'm out here spending millions? But, I'm not a gambling man. I can't talk like that or speak for Dana White in that regard. But on any event, reality nonetheless. But yeah. But gambling is bad, y'all. I know that a lot of y'all out there in the MMA space, you gamble. That's primarily one of the reasons why you watch MMA. For me, I do MMA content and I watch MMA and I train MMA for different reasons. And, very few to do with gambling, of course. I'm not a gambling website in any kind of way, but I do understand that it is part of the sport that, we really can't deny or get out of. But I will say gambling ruins a lot of families. Okay. I can tell you some horror stories from a third person point of view of which I've seen from, personal friends of mine, acquaintances. I've known guys that have gambled their rent money away. And boy, let me tell you, the arguments that they got with back home after that was, absolutely horrendous. You know what I mean? And not only that, too, just the financial strain that you put upon your family as a result of that. There's a lot of that going on, too, But yeah, uh,